So I've had the Ninja Luxe Cafe for just a bit over 2 months now. I got it at the beginning of July, and I've used it as my daily driver for all of August and September into October. And I'd like to give you guys my thoughts on it thus far. Now this video is a bit inspired by Coffee Kev's channel. He recently did a recap after using his for a while, and I do have some thoughts to share with you. There are a couple things I've been wanting to show you, but probably the most interesting news is actually the fact that these are becoming available in Europe. This is the ES601 model. This is actually the USA model. But in Europe, you're going to have 3 models. The ES501, which is a bit of a stripped down model. The ES601, like this guy. And the ES701, which is going to come with a tamper that you can click down on the side there. So that's going to be really nice. And these European models, the ES601 and 701, are also going to come with a single basket, which is super duper nice. And what I've been really clamoring for, it's going to come also with a hot water outlet as well. So that's going to be super nice. The ES701 is also going to come with a different type of steam wand here. It's going to be a thicker one, I think maybe a non-burn steam wand. And it's going to come with an additional setting for extra foamy milk. So the cool thing is these are all becoming available, I think October 23rd in Europe. So check in the description box down below. I'm going to put some links for these machines so that you can try to get your pre-order in before everybody else does. Now what I don't quite understand is why the American model doesn't come with the single basket, doesn't come with the water outlet, and doesn't come with extra drinks like Americano. The ES701 can apparently also do different espresso variants like Lungo and I think a Ristretto. So I don't quite get that, especially the Americano thing.
Getting value from this video? Please take a moment to like and subscribe.
So on to 2 things that I wanted to show you with this machine. Number 1 thing is it does a really good job with cold drinks. So it makes excellent cold milk foam, I'm going to show you that, and cold press espresso. And it does something also very cool with the barista assist. So I don't know if you've ever tried it, but if you ever try to pull an espresso shot with lukewarm water, ambient temperature water, it runs right through the puck. So this knows that. This machine is smart enough to know that. So right now it's suggesting for a normal espresso that I'm on the setting of 7 for the grinder. But as soon as I choose cold pressed, right there, it says go to 4. All right, so we're gonna do that. I'm also gonna talk about a few frustrations I've had with this machine towards the end of the video. So here is my funnel on there. It's tearing the scale. That is so awesome. I'm gonna go down to 4. And when you do that, it does empty out some grounds into your portafilter. I would suggest, oops. I would suggest to grind out a little bit further by just pressing the start grind button and holding it to purge a little more. Okay, well now we should really be at that fine setting. All right, so let's go ahead and make ourselves a cold pressed cappuccino. Okay, it wants me to cool down the thermal block first. Let's do that. And now I can go ahead and start the grind. Okay, this is a good demonstration of the scale. I ran out of beans, so I gotta add more. And let's see what happens. See, it says start grind is still blinking, so it knows it's mid-process. Let's finish. Excellent. All right. And there we got our grounds inside. There's our puck. Let's start our drink. Now, one of the things I wanted to show you that is really, really cool is you can do both. When you're making a cold pressed espresso, and you're doing cold milk, you can do both at the same time. There we go. I'm going to start the drink and I'm going to start the milk And I'm going to try to videotape a little bit of it here on my phone so you can get a bit of a close-up. I'm also going to try to check the temperature. So here we go. Espresso. Milk. Milk is already going. Temperature of the milk is quite cold. Just came from the fridge. So starting at 15 degrees. And the espresso is 45, 47 degrees. There's my cold foam milk right there. Okay. So there is my cold pressed espresso right there. And here, this is my really nice milk foam. Look at that stuff. The texture of this milk foam is amazing. Really, really good. So yeah, this milk foam is just, oof, so silky. It's delightful. It's like a marshmallow cloud on your tongue. It still does bring out some sweetness in the milk, and it is just really, really good. Now on to the second point. People have been asking, can you use this machine with a separate grinder? Yes, you can. Definitely. You can bypass the grinder, and the machine is smart enough to realize that you are starting a shot without having used the grinder, and therefore your barista assist settings right here stay the same. So if I go back to a normal espresso, it's recommending me 7 like before. So we can just move up to 7. We got 7 recommended, 7 current setting. This is going to be an educational experiment, okay? If I go ahead and put in some pre-ground espresso, now this is old, this is certainly months old. You know, when you buy it from the store, it's probably already 6 or 12 months old. And as soon as it's exposed to air, you know, it's because it's already pre-ground, it's got so much more surface area to be exposed to the air. I expect this to just look like a terrible shot. I'm gonna put in 18 grams like I always do with this machine. That is one of the major benefits of this machine, that it gets me a very consistent 17.8 grams grind. Awesome. It just takes so much of the guesswork out of it. So I really do appreciate that about the Ninja, and I'm sure a lot of other beginning baristas are going to appreciate that too. 17.9, excellent. Let's give this sucker a tamp. So, you may be unsuspecting if you look at the puck and think, hey, looks fine, looks like the grind is fine enough. That could work. You know, the right dose. It's also important. You don't want to have too little in there or too much. But just watch how bad this comes out and how quickly. And what we're gonna see is that the barista assist settings, they remain unchanged. Here we go. It's got to heat up because it was in the cold brew mode before. Okay. Oh, that looks bad. And done in 15 seconds. So that is what you get when you use pre-ground espresso, and you can see that the recommended grind remained at 7. So the machine is smart enough to know I didn't use a grinder. Forget about this particular extraction in regard to the barista assist. Extraction is not that bad. A little sour, but it's not terrible actually. And that's something interesting about this machine. It does seem to be able to adjust the pressure a little bit in regards to the current extraction. And I think it probably lowered the pressure a little bit here because of using these pre-ground beans here. Anyway, those are the two things I wanted to show you. The delightful, cold drinks. And you can definitely use a machine without using the grinder. So you can use some other grinder for decaf, for example, or for a different bean, whatever. And you could, if you wanted, remove this guy here, buy yourself a second bean hopper, and put different beans in. But what you'd have to do is you'd have to try to scoop out the beans, or just grind them and purge by holding down the grind button. And what you're gonna end up losing is about 13 grams of beans. So that is not so sustainable. Probably the best thing to do would be to buy pre-ground decaf, or else have a dedicated hand grinder or something if you're doing a different bean. Maybe something like this one here, the K4 by King Grinder. This is an excellent grinder, and it's nice to use if you're just doing it once in a while. I do find that these hand grinders become very cumbersome if you're using them too often. All right, now on to a few things that frustrate me about this machine. The most frustrating thing about this machine is the fact that the dang thing is sold out most of the time. It will come back in stock for a couple days on Amazon, on Ninja, and then, oh, all gone. Yeah, for me, that's the most frustrating thing. It's very difficult to get in Canada. In the United States, it's been the easiest to get, but still hard, still sold out most of the time. And it hasn't even been available in Europe yet until now. So again, check out the links in the description box, and hopefully you can get your pre-order in before those are sold out. I do believe it's available in the UK, Germany, Spain, and probably some other countries in Europe as well. And my recommendation would be, if you don't care about cold drinks at all, go for the 501. That one is pretty cheap. If you like cold drinks, then go for the 601. When I get the chance, I'm gonna buy the 701 because it's got the really sweet tamper on the side. I'm gonna try that out. On to a couple more frustrations with the machine. Probably the second most frustrating thing is that this drip tray fills up really quickly. Like most of these machines do that just have a single thermal block. They have to put a lot of water through the thermal block after steaming in order to cool that sucker down. And so I've come to this thing before, and this little button has popped up, and I pull this out, and it's just full of water all even under the machine and stuff. So it can get to be quite a mess if you're not careful. Make sure to empty this out, I would say, on a daily basis, just to be safe, because that's a pain. Really, the third complaint I have, and the last one, is the funnel. So I've dropped this funnel probably 2-3 times on the floor, and unfortunately I busted off a piece right here. So it doesn't always recognize the funnel for me anymore. I really gotta stick that sucker in there pretty hard. Just like that. I'm gonna end the video here. Have a good one, happy coffee drinking, happy espresso drinking. Bye now.